Hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Jackie and I am forever faithful. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. Hope all is well with you all today. Okay, so I did receive confirmation um, about revealing more of my story, which is my love story. I mentioned something about that in my last video, okay, about that I received another vision that was connected to me moving. Okay, so let me just say this. This is my love story, okay? It's the beginning of it. And let me just say, I've never been the type of female who wanted to be married or have children. I've known this since I was in high school. I knew this because I didn't want to be responsible for anyone else. I have never been that female to say, oh, I want to get married, have a child, the house, the picket fence. That was complete opposite of what I wanted. I wanted freedom. I wanted to travel. I wanted freedom. I wanted freedom. I did not want to be held down. I did not want to be responsible for anyone else. So marriage and children has never been my thing. Just hasn't. Anyway, so this love story began, I would say, around 2006, 2007. I went to one of my favorite clubs in the city, and I brought a friend of mine with me, and just to have a good time. And I'm living my single life. I'm content, I'm working, got my own place, doing my thing. So we go hang out at this club, and this guy comes up to me and asks me if I want to dance. We dance, and then afterwards we chat, exchange numbers, and then a couple of days later we meet for dinner. We meet, things are going great, conversation's going great. It's going so well that 2 hours had passed by and we have yet to order our food. After the dinner, probably a couple of days later, we was keeping in contact and we saw each other again. And then the weekend came because our schedules were different during the week, but we both had the weekend off. So the weekend came and he invited me to stay the weekend at his place. I said, sure, okay. It was a great experience. It was so easy, effortless. Far as, the cooking and cleaning, grocery shopping, all of that stuff we did together as a couple. And I had a sense like, gosh, this is nice. Okay, I can see why people get married, because the energy between us was so intense, and it left us speechless. I can't even talk now. Like, seriously, it was just insanely intense, like the energy, this love energy. And I knew that this was God's love, divine love. I've never felt anything like this in my life, and neither had he. He had also told me, the couple of months that we did date, hang out, I learned a little bit about his family, and that basically, he didn't say it, but I sensed that he had mother issues. His last relationship, I sensed there was still some healing that needed to happen. I didn't know all the details, but I knew enough from the body language and the tone and the words that were used when he spoke of his mother and his ex. I knew that he had to deal with that as much love as I have inside of me in general, and the love that God was pouring into me, pouring out onto him, it just wouldn't be enough. It just would not be enough. Anyway, so we're still enjoying each other's company, talking, getting to know each other. Our connection is so tight, so in sync that it's like we could read each other's minds. I could be thinking something, he say it. He could have a question that he's, you know, posing in his head, but I'll speak and answer not knowing it. It was happening more and more. The more time we spent together, the more intense this energy became. So he tells me that he had a conversation with his dad and telling his dad, hey, I think she's the one. And I really wanted to know what his dad said, but he didn't tell me. And I had a feeling he spoke to his friends too. But even then, I kind of knew, was like, will he listen to his heart, to his instincts, or will he listen to the men he's going to for advice? Are these single men or these married men? Are these, you know, are these hoes? Like, seriously, guys can be hoes too. Are they hoes? Like, what the heck? Like, how come you can't make a decision based off what your heart and your instincts are telling you? Long story short, I was in the process of moving, and he helped me with moving in some of my furniture. Then the next thing I know, literally out of the blue, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. Can't do this anymore. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do this? I'm sorry, I just can't. I can't see you anymore. I'm like, oh, okay. And he walks out the door, and I'm completely blindsided. I am devastated on the inside. I felt like I had been with him, you know, instead of 3 months or so, that I've been with him for freaking, I don't know, 13 years. It was that intense. I was devastated. Anyway, so it was about a year, close to a year later, he reached out again. We met up. We always had dinner at this point when he first said, okay, I can't do this anymore. I stopped all physical contact. So anytime that we would meet after that, it was just over a meal. And he would come into my life maybe every year to 2 years, just out of the blue, make contact, and I would meet up with him. But during these meetings, I realized that he only was coming by to be nosy. I realized this way after the fact, that he was just coming by to be nosy, to pick my brain. I also noticed that every time he would leave again, I was left with questions like, wait a minute, I still don't know any more about him, his life, what he's doing, what he's going through than I did the last year, 2 years. Like, he was not spilling any information. It was very basic, very general. He generalized everything. Life is okay, it's cool, I'm just hanging, I'm trying to make it, whatever. It was never really any depth to his conversation. But I was the one who was always, it's like, hey, how you doing? What's going on with you? Oh, I'm doing this, that, and this happened, and da 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 da. Like, I'm just pouring information to him, but not getting anything back. And even during these meetups over the years, he still would not acknowledge the connection, what we both experienced, and what this energy of love, this intense energy really is. And at this point, finally, probably the third time he came in and out of my life, third or fourth time, I was devastated every single time he came in and out of my life. And each time I thought, oh, he's finally waking up. He's realizing, the gem that I am. He's finally waking up. Nope. I realized now he was just coming to get information. He was coming with ill intentions. But I didn't know it because my heart was open and just filled with love. And it didn't even matter because I'm thinking, he's back. He's here. We're going to make it work. But after the third, fourth time, I was like, I said, God, divine creator, I don't know what his freaking problem is, but he's a freaking idiot to be passing this up. He's a freaking idiot. And if that is the case, then I would rather have this type of love with someone else. I said, it doesn't have to be him. As a matter of fact, I don't even want it to be him at this point. I was done. My heart was closed. Like the whole idea of even trying or even wanting to make it work. And if he came back, at some point I said, never mind. I'm done. Because I felt spiritually I was already ahead of him. And because of him continuously running from this connection, I just finally said, forget it. Forget him. Forget it. I will still try to be a friend, still try to be kind and compassionate, be a friend. But he couldn't even see me as that, as a genuine friend. So I was like, okay, that's it. That is it. I'm done. But I did tell God, I was like, you know what? I want this love. But you can put it in somebody else. It can be someone else. It doesn't have to be him. I'm okay with that. As a matter of fact, yeah, I don't want it to be him. Because by this time, I'm thinking, gosh, by this time, 10 years had already passed. And I'm thinking, truly thinking, like, in 10 years, how many freaking females have you been with? And for me, that is a turnoff, right? I don't want you had the best thing in your life and you ran away from it so you can be with whoever, wherever. Okay, well, you're not going to be out there playing. And then when you decide to settle down, like, you're going to come back to me. No, not going to work. But the last time I saw this guy has been at least 7 years ago. And I found out a couple of years ago that he had moved back home to his home state. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. He didn't even let me know. I don't know why I was still thinking that this fool was going to share anything with me. But he moved back home, right? So I was like, wow. And I guess a part of me still, somehow, the part of me was still hoping this idiot, I'm sorry, would wake up and stop running, right? But I knew I was just advanced, more spiritually advanced than he was even when we met. And over the years, him coming in and out, I just saw his emotional maturity, his mental maturity, and he began to look like a little boy to me. Even though this is an adult male, but I could only see him at that point as a boy, because his mind and his emotions was that of a boy, not that of an adult, a grown adult, right? To handle and face your mess, whatever it is. I was like, man, this is crazy. So I let him go. But that was about 7 years ago, last time I saw him. And he was in a bad space, had just lost someone close to him. And, I was really trying to be a friend and really trying to be a friend to him. Because I know it's hard losing someone. Even though I had shared with him everything that I had gone through, since the last time I had seen him, which was hell, my hell on earth, And I was trying to get him to understand, I hear you, I feel you, I can relate to you. So if you ever need anybody to talk to, I'm here. I said, okay, thank you. I'll be in touch. I know I've been saying that in the past, but I'll keep in touch. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Whatever. I've heard that before, so I'm not expecting you to. It would be nice, but I'm not expecting you to. So at this point in my life, I have been through my own hell on earth, part one, hell on earth, and I was recovering from the surgeries, the moving, the family issues, the deaths of family and friends, and then he comes along. And then leaves my life once again. But when he left that last time, I knew I was never gonna let him back into my home again. I never had plans to see him or to meet with him again at all. I was done because I had removed toxic people out of my life already. And I was like, if you are serious, then you're going to keep your word saying that you'll keep in contact, whatever. And he didn't. So for me, I was done. Completely done. The door was already shut. But that day, it was locked. Padlocked. 3 locks. Chain locked. It was locked. There's no returning, right? And what I saw as he left my home and going down the stairs, I saw him walking into a huge concrete wall, and it was thick. And it was a little boy that I saw walking to that wall. It was like he walking down the stairs, heading towards this brick wall that I can see in the spirit. It's not physically there, but I can see it in the spirit. And this is this little boy walking into this thick concrete wall. And it would be totally different if it was brick, because that means at least there would be some room for some breakage, some flexibility, possibility, the grout between the bricks. But this was solid concrete, very thick. And the message I got from that was, because of his stubbornness, because of his disobedience, because he chose to do things his own way, he will have to learn the very hard way. Meaning, like, he was going to hit that thick concrete wall head on, and that it will shake him to his core. It will shake him to his core, that it will shake everything out of him. And then he will be left to pick up, to salvage what he can. And I knew what was coming for him. I knew. I knew that it was his last chance to do right. I know it was his last chance to be obedient. I knew it was his last chance to do right by me. I knew that. Instinctively, my spirit, I knew this. And I pray for him. I always pray for him from day one. Like, you're going to need these prayers. I'm so sorry that you're so stubborn, and whatever happened to you in your childhood to make you this way. I'm so sorry for you, because you're going to experience something very dramatic and traumatic in order to shake him into obedience. Now, what I'm about to, and I probably need to make this a part 2, but I'm going to try to fit it all in real quick. What was revealed to me years ago by Divine Creator, by God, by the Holy Spirit, was that this person, this male, was actually doing witchcraft on me. This person was sending demons to me. This person was causing blockages in my finances. This person was stopping me on doing whatever I was in the midst of doing, like to the point where he was doing some type of rituals or spells that I literally couldn't remember things, simple words, how to spell it, like because or mirror, or even something as simple as story or stories. Like it was messing with my brain, so I couldn't think clearly. I couldn't get things accomplished. Like it was revealed to me that he was one that was doing this spell work, witchcraft, dark magic on me. And because of the demons that was sent to me, I experienced another hell on earth, the second round, because of him. Now, and when I tell you, these demons literally tried to kill me, literally, when I say blood, sweat, and tears, I literally mean just that. Just that. Blood, sweat, and tears. Lots of it. Lots of it. Too many times in the hospital. Too many times in the ER. Like, insane. The pain was crippling. It was disabling. Literally. Like, I couldn't walk at times. I would have to crawl. The pain was so intense that it hurt to breathe. So, let this be a warning to you all. And the reason he was able to do this witchcraft is because I still had an open door. My heart was still open to him. My heart was still loving him. My heart was still beating for him on some level. I could not deny that this is the love that I just can't deny. Even though I deny those human toxic behaviors, but I couldn't deny the love because love is from God, so from divine source. But that's why he was able to do that, is because there was an open door. We had this intense, crazy connection of mind and body and even on a soul level. You know what I mean? There was this undeniable connection. But that's how he was able to get to me for many years. Many, many years. And I would say if you have met someone who you have this connection with, pay attention. Pay attention to those red flags. Somebody in and out your life and they don't give you much information about themselves and what's going on with them in their lives. Do not divulge any information. Don't let them into your home because they can leave things there. And I just, one time, there was this one incident where I was on my way to meet a friend at the movie theater, and I'm at the light, and somebody, basically hit me from the back and eventually totaled my car. Had to total my car. But that day that I was in that accident, guess who reached out to me? Hours later. It's like, hey, just wonder how you doing, if I could stop by. And even then I thought, well, this is odd. I just was in an accident. And then here he is, out of the blue, just contacted me. And a part of me didn't want to be bothered because I'm like, I can't believe it. This fool just hit me. We had a red light and just trying to wrap my head around this accident. So I allowed him to come over. But it was revealed to me that he was responsible for that, because he had some envy or jealous because my ride was better than his. Just be careful of people that you have these type of connections with. Be very careful. Be very observant. Just be aware what they're doing and what they're saying. Do not get caught up in the ooze, all the gushiness of loving somebody, you know what I mean? And the high vibes and everything. Just take your time and just be careful about who you allow into your life, into your circle, into your home. And just pay close attention to those red flags. Now, I can say that the vision that I received about 1.5 years ago, was of wedding rings. Yeah, wedding rings. And as I mentioned in my last video, I had been online, like we all are, right? A lot. And I just remember at one point seeing a lot of jewelry ads, specifically rings, engagement rings, wedding bands, right? And I said, this is odd. Why am I seeing all these ads? And particularly on YouTube. Why am I seeing all these jewelry ads? And this went on literally for weeks. I was like, this is so odd. Why I keep seeing these jewelry ads? I've never seen so many jewelry ads on YouTube, right? So I was like, okay. But in my sleep, I received visions, and it was like Divine was saying, hey, you miss all the signs. Showed me every single ring that I missed, I passed over, and told me to choose one. To choose my wedding ring. Now, I must say, I have no idea who's going to be putting a ring on my finger. God already knows that I don't want Mr. X, Mr. Witchcraft. And I know people can change. Miracles happen. And that may be the case. And I'm pretty sure he is a changed person. But so am I. I don't want anything or anybody from my past who has caused me pain consistently. I'm not trying to stay around them long enough to find out if they've changed or not. That's just me. Now, if I get further instructions from Divine Creator for me to do something or think a different way or give me clarity about this person, right now I'm not even interested. Okay? I'm just not. So, I will say that I am open to whatever Divine has for me. Ultimately, Divine knows what's best. But yeah, I received that vision of me being told to choose my wedding ring. So I did reluctantly go on some of the sites, jewelry sites, and look at some rings and stuff. I even started looking for wedding dresses and all of that. And mind you, there's still this resistance inside of me because it's something I have never thought about, really. I've never thought about planning a wedding or picking out a ring or picking out a wedding dress. Because I'm like, well, I don't even want to wear a wedding dress. Give me some pants. Like, you know, it is so, I don't know. It hasn't been me. Marriage, kids, this whole commitment thing. And listen, I ain't got a problem being committed to a person. I don't. But to actually sign paperwork, to make it legal, right? To make it official in the eyes of man, I was like, wow. I was shocked when I woke up. I was definitely shocked. Like, are you telling me I'm getting married? It's been, never crossed my mind. Never really crossed my mind. Until I met Mr. X. And then I said, well, I could reconsider this with the right person. He obviously was not the right person. Only because I had experienced this connection with him that I never experienced before. His behavior showed me that something ain't right with him. And I have enough faith and a good relationship with Divine Creator that I can go to Divine Creator directly and say, hey, I don't want this. I don't want him. I want the love, but I want it with someone else. And I believe that's what is going to happen. Because to be honest, even if Mr. X has changed, I'm not sure if I could ever truly trust him. And I don't want to be with anyone I can't trust. Period. But my love story is continuing. Whoever Divine has for me, the universe has for me, is on his way. And I'm preparing myself physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally for the next phase of my life. And in order for me to even get to this point, I had to let Mr. X go. I had to cut ties with him completely, even energetically, meaning I still have love for him, but he doesn't have my heartstrings to pull on anymore, okay? That I wish him well, I pray for him and everything, but I don't want him. And don't get it twisted. I went through a roller coaster of emotions when I actually found out that he was behind a lot of these spiritual attacks on me. I was so hurt, devastated, pissed off, angry, bitter. I went through all the emotions. I'm like, no. I was even in denial at one point. No way. No. No, he would never do that to me. I mean, never done anything to him for me to deserve this. Yeah. I'm just sharing my story, my love story, the beginning of it. I have no idea where it's going to go, but I feel like it's going to be fabulous. And I am excited about the next phase. So right now, I am still in the process of waiting and preparing for the next phase, preparing to be someone's wife, which I never envisioned. Gosh, life is interesting, can be funny, and it's funny to me now because it's like, oh, you want God to laugh? Tell him your plans. That was my plan, for me to just do my